Oh, hi, Gigi. This is Caesar with 247 PC Tech. I'm going to help you out with the secondary class for Windows 11 Pro. And then eventually we're going to learn about other features and benefits of Windows 11, and such as copy and paste, and how to record, how to send a file, how to set up an email, whatever additional necessities you need for Windows 11. Okay? And you could tell me as we go, you could tell me what you need. And try to have it written down somewhere. Like, I encourage you to have it like make a document right here on the desktop. And Windows 11 and Office class 2023. Right here. Yeah, what you need to do is, so you remember, just open it up and just say, okay, we don't need this. Go copy and paste. Okay, that's one, right? And then you save it. Always save it. So we could go back and say, whatever day during the week that you remember that you need to know about something, how to do this, how to do that, just type it in there, so we could go, on that list eventually. Okay? Yeah, and it's right here. It's in the center. I'll put it right here, next to me, right here. Okay? So the last time we left off was control panel. I believe we touched base on everything in here, right? No, actually, no. We stopped at device and printers. That's where we stopped at. Okay? So Windows 11 has a control panel, like we talked about, and it has all these features in the control panel. It's basically the meat and potato of the operating system. So all this stuff in here. So credentials is more for IT support. So in your case, you're not going to be able to go in there, or you don't need to know this because you're not going to be an IT support person, IT support specialist. The next one, it's called device and printers. Device and printers. The purpose of this device and printers is to add printers or add a device. It could be good thing about Windows 11. It automatically installs the drivers for the new devices or peripherals. It could be a printer, it could be a webcam, it could be, I mean, the sky's the limit. Whatever you're going to use, whatever the device you buy to connect it to the computer via USB, that would help you install it from within here, within the device and printers. See the list: control panel, all control panel items, and device and printers. So right here. Okay? So let's say if you want to add a printer, the way you do it is you click here, and that's how you add a printer. Usually Windows 11 will automatically do it, but if Windows 11 doesn't do it, then you click on add printer and the printer will populate here. You'll see the list of printers if there is any printers. See, there's one. There's an Envy. Is that your printer? Okay, that's probably somebody else's printer in the area, like either possibly a neighbor's printer. So let's say you highlight it like that, and then you go next. I'm not going to install it because this is not your printer. You don't want to be printing stuff out of his house. Yeah. So this is how you add the printer, right? It's pretty simple. But usually printers, the Windows 11 automatically installs the printers. Sometimes, probably a higher percentage installs the printers, but sometimes based on the brand, the printer might not be installed. So you could do it from here. Add and remove printers, you know. So you go, let's go back. You go here. The way you find that, you go to control panel, do that again. Control panel, which is right here. And then you go device printers under alphabetical order, or however you want to see it. A, B, C. This is the alphabetical order from this way. A, B, C, D, E, F, F, like this. That's the alphabetical order, okay? So device and printers. And then make sure that your printer is listed. In this case, it's not listed because you don't have a printer. But usually, if you do have a printer, then it'll be listed here. And if it's working, it's going to say connected, below here where it says these words. It'll say that's connected, printer connected. But in this case, since you don't have one, it doesn't apply. But if you have, and if the printer is not working, then it's going to give you an error message below here where it says Microsoft XP, but it'll say HP printer or whatever, wrong, error, or it's going to have an exclamation mark, or it's going to tell you that there's a problem with the printer. Okay? But this is how you, and then if you have like different printers that you don't want, like from the neighbors or other older printers in the past, let's say you installed 5 or 6 printers over the life of 5 years, and you want to remove them, then you remove from here. See that? On the very top, uninstall the selected device. And then this print server properties, that's if you want to like have different fonts, different, let's say if you have one of those big printers that have different paper feeding, LPT1, LPT port 1, port 2, port 3, then you set it up from here. And this will tell you what's your printed. Sometimes when you're trying to print something and it's not printing and it's not printing, then you go in here and see the list of all the printing that didn't print. So you go in here and then there's nothing, right? Because you have nothing. But if you have a list, then you cancel that. Like here where it says cancel all documents. Okay? Or use printer offline. But in this case, if you have like a list of documents you didn't print or couldn't print because of a printer error, then you cancel the list. Okay? So that's how you do it. So this is where you add the printer again, and this is where you add a device. And when you click add a device, it could be numerous amounts of devices. This is probably a hard drive or devices in the area. And Lady Laura Fire Stick, and this is another printer, the 7800, and these are devices in the area, probably in your house, okay? But like the Fire Sticks, you probably have a Amazon Fire Stick or something like that in there somewhere. Okay, so it's listed there, okay? So that's how you add the device, and this is how you add the printer, and this is how you check to see if there's errors or what's going to print. And this is if you want to change the settings on the printer, the size, right here. See? Print server size 10 by 11, 8 by 11. You change the size of the document or the page you're trying to print from. Different sizes, right? Legal, right? Letter is usually the more popular one. Letter, right? And then you create a new form, so on and so forth. So this is where you change. This is the forms. This is ports. In this case, you never want to go in here because if you do, you're probably going to mess up the printer location. Drivers, this is how you check the drivers to see if you have a printer. Security, if you have any security. In this case, it's not applicable. And advanced. In this case, it is not applicable until you get a printer. We're going to connect it. You're actually going to install it yourself, and I'm just going to guide you through. So you'll know how to install a printer when you get the printer, whenever you're ready to buy a printer. Yeah. So in this case, not applicable at this time. I'm just showing you the tabs and giving you an idea of what this does. Okay. And remove device. Obviously, you highlight the device you want to remove. In this case, you don't have a fax machine. You remove the device. Yes, you want to cancel. Yes or no. Okay. And this is how in this corner right here, is how you change the sizes of the icons. Extra large. Look at that. Large icons, medium size, small icons, list, details of what it is, and the icons, tiles, and content. So the default I have personally myself, I mean it's a question of preference, but for me, I like to have large icons like that. Yeah. So, good. So we're going to cancel this out. So that is, well, actually, let's go back. Oh, no, actually, cancel. So, devices and printers. Devices and printers view and manage devices, printers, and print jobs. Next one, indexing. In this case, you don't have databases, so indexing does not apply. This is more for business use, like if you have a database or if you want to index information. In this case, I do not recommend to go in here because you might mess up your tree, your Windows tree. The next one is mail. This is if you use Outlook. That's how you set up the Outlook account through here. You add an account, add a profile, user, let's say Gigi. Okay, you create a profile and then you put the email and the password and all that stuff. But in this case, we're not going to apply. We're not going to add an account. Let me remove it. Yeah. This is more for Microsoft Outlook. You have Outlook, so you could add Outlook. You could add your email on Outlook. But since you have a singular email, it's better just go directly to Cox, right? That's your email, Cox. Gmail. Oh, Gmail. It's better to go directly to your service provider than do an Outlook. Outlook is more for businesses where you have multiple emails, like 5 or 6 emails. Then you can have them all in a singular location. Okay, that's the main purpose of this. If you want to add all your emails into one platform. The next one, if it's a laptop, this is the power options. Okay, this is how you change the settings, the service plans of the battery service plan. A power plan is a collection of hardware and system settings like brightness, sleep, etc. that manages how your computer uses power. You could change the plan here. I always, like on a laptop, I always do a default and say never turn off the display. Okay? Never turn off the display when it's plugged in. This is on battery, and this is on connected to the wall outlet or the plug. Also, put your computer to sleep. I always say never, and even though if it's on battery, or if it's because you're using the battery, you're using the computer, you don't want it to go to sleep or anything while you're using it. Only when you stop using it, then you turn it off, right? You don't leave it there, you just turn it off. Okay. Yeah. And this here, choose to sleep in display settings that you want to use your computer. So this is where you go in advance, okay, to change the plans. In this case, this is active plan, right? Because I said never. And then this is what it does for the hard disk, the hard drive. You never turn off the hard drive. See that? Never when it's plugged in, never when it's on battery. Internet Explorer, you never want to also do that. Desktop settings, I always disable all this. Sleep after, never, never, never. I always say never. Same thing. Off, hybrid sleep, hibernation, timers. You could do a timer. You could tell the computer when to turn off. Okay. If from within here, this is USB settings. If you want to suspend a particular USB port in your computer, like you only want to use one, then you could disable the rest of them. But it's useless. You never want to disable this. This is for the graphic card. You could set up a power plan. It's balanced. So it's based on the battery and based on when it's plugged in. Platform thermal settings, same thing. PCI Express. Like I said, you never want to go in here and change anything. Turn off display. I do never. Battery, when it's on battery, what do? I do on. Hibernation, hibernate the battery. Low 10%. Tells you, it gives you like a warning. Oh, the battery's low, 10%, whatever. Critical level, that's at 5%. If it's plugged in, low battery notification, it's going to also tell you the battery's low. For here, you could disable it, if you don't want notifications. But it's good to have notifications because you never know. It's good to know that your battery's less than 10% or 7%. So this is for the battery. This is more applicable to laptops, not applicable to desktops. Okay? This power settings right here, it's still on Windows 10, Windows 11 and 10 on a desktop and a laptop, but it doesn't apply on a desktop because the desktop's always connected. And it doesn't have a battery. It applies mostly on computers like mobile computers, like laptops. Okay? Yeah. So this is the power settings. Choose what the power buttons do. Choose what you do when you close the lid. When you close, you could turn it off. You could tell the computer when you close the lid, you could turn it off. You see, you could ask it to go to sleep or shut down. By closing the lid, it shuts off. Right now you have it at sleep. So if you close the lid, you put it to sleep. Okay? But you could change the settings and change it to hibernation, to shut down, and turn off the computer could still be on, but the display is off. See what I'm saying? So okay. Define power options. Okay, define power options and turn on password protection. Since you don't have any passwords, so it's password protection is not applicable. But these features here, I'm going to read it to you: power and sleep buttons and lid settings. Okay, so this is when you press the power button. You could go to sleep. You could do shutdown. You press it one time, it'll go to shutdown. So I'll leave it at shutdown when it's plugged in and it's on the battery. You press the power button one time only, and it'll shut it down with the battery or without the battery. Okay? Uh, when I press the sleep button, do the same thing. It goes to sleep, right? The next one, when you close the lid, when you close the computer, you move the monitor to the bottom where the keyboard is, you could also shut it down. You know, so you don't have to. Yeah, I'm not going to use the computer till tomorrow. Just close the lid and it'll shut down. Okay, and then you save the changes. Okay, so make sure while you're using the computer, never move the display all the way down to the keyboard. Don't the clamshell. Don't close it, because if you do, it's going to shut down your computer. Okay, it's a good setting for laptops. Okay, create a power plan. This is a power plan right here. We already did it. Choose the computer when you want to turn it off. Same thing. And change the computer when it sleeps. In this case, not applicable. Doesn't matter. We're not going to do anything to it. And this is the mobility for your laptop display. This is where you increase the brightness. This is when you mute. This is the battery. I think I showed you this before, but this is a mobility. Okay? But you never go in there, never change anything. There's no need. So that would be the power plant. So, and then you always, obviously, you got to save the settings. If you don't save the settings, you always got to save the settings. If you don't save it, it won't save anything, and you have to start over again. Okay? Either save settings or apply. Those two words. Remember, save settings or apply. Okay. So close this down, and let's go back and close this down too. Okay. So power options, security and maintenance. This is slightly important. Okay. So this is the security of your computer. So this is the control panel. Obviously, we are in the control panel, and we are in the items of the control panel. The next feature is security and maintenance. The security option is about the firewall. It's always defaulted to it's on. I usually disable it, the firewall, because I don't. The antivirus program has a firewall, but don't touch these. Just leave them open. And this, sometimes when you connect a USB or you're trying to install a program or something, it's always asking you, "Oh, you want to make sure you sure you're gonna install this program?" I hate that. I usually turn it off. It's usually right here. Notify me when apps to try to make changes to my computer. Usually, every time you install something, it's always going to notify you that it's going to make a change. Oh, you're installing the program. Are you sure? You don't need to be notified for that. I usually turn it off. That's high security. If you go above, it's high security. It's always going to tell you, oh, you're installing something. And usually the default is that. The next one, check it out. It says recommend if you use familiar apps and visit familiar websites. Yes. Here, notify me when the apps try to change my computer. Okay, not recommended. Choose this only if it takes a long time to dim the desktop. Nah, I always do this. I always do that. Notify me. I don't need notification if I know I'm installing something. I mean. So apps to try to install software, make changes on my computer. I make changes to Windows settings. Not recommended. Of course, they don't want to recommend because they want to control your computer. So, and then I go, okay, so you're never going to get a notification. Are you sure you're trying to install this program? Yeah, of course I'm installing something. It's only going to come up when you install something. Okay? So this is the firewall, which is the network. The virus protection, don't touch this. Internet security settings is okay. And user control, account control, it's off. But it's still good. So there you are. Maintenance. That's if you want to do maintenance on a computer. Computer does self-maintenance, so no need. See here, no action needed because it's automatically maintenance. So back in the day, you had to defrag and do all this other stuff. You don't have to do it anymore since Windows 7, 7, 8, 10, and 11. So it does it automatically. You don't have to do anything anymore. Okay? Yeah. File history. That's if you want to keep a history of everything you're doing on the computer. You don't want to do that because it takes up space. So it's always off. You don't need because the only person you only do that when you have somebody else like a child using your computer. Then you leave it on so you know where he's been, what kind of history he has, what websites he went to, and whatever what movies he watched. So this will tell you history. But in this case, it's not applicable. Uh, this is the drive status, which is your hard drive, and all your drives for your hard drives. It's okay. So the device status, you got a healthy drive or a healthy CD drive or hard drive or SSD drive or whatever. The next one is called recovery. That's if you want to recover your computer. Create a recovery drive if you want to create it into either a disk drive or a thumb drive. Open system to restore point. That's if you want to open the system restore point. The last time it backed up a system restore point was back in April 3rd. And then you go next, 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 then it'll recover your computer. Okay? But in this case, your computer's healthy and you're fine. Configure system restore point. If you want to configure a new restore point, in this case, this is the name of your computer, Dell XPS, hardware, system protection. It's on, so your protection's on. So I always do a system restore point, and it's on, so you don't have to worry about it. It probably does it every week because the last time we did it was the 3rd. So today's the 7th. Probably by Monday again, it'll do it again. Okay? It'll back up your computer. So security again, and then recovery, and then configure. This is just self-explanatory, But you're never going to go in here unless you want to restore your computer. If it gives you an option to restore, like if your computer's slow as hell, and it has you think it has a virus that's slow, making it slow, then you do a system restore and just go to the prior date, like I showed you. Maintenance, automatic maintenance. So reporting problems is on. If there's a problem with the computer or the hardware, it'll tell you whether it has problems or not. And you have a history. If there's a history of reports. And let me see here. Widget. That's a widget service. That's a Microsoft thing. You don't need it. It's this widget. I actually deleted it. The thing that comes on the side? That's a widget. I took it off. And yeah, and then Microsoft Defender successfully, so it's good. It's an update. So the only critical event was this. And this tells you, like right here, the history. See the history? Updates. Updates. More history. Right here. Widgets again. And let's see if there's more. Let's go back to the day. Let me see here. Go here. It'll give you everything. Just updates. That's all it is. It's just updates. Updates. Okay, so it's just giving you the updates on this. So the security and maintenance. So let's say here. So you're fine. Start maintenance if you want to start it. You don't need it. File history, I told you turn it off. You don't want to know. Recovery, you already know that. Okay? So that's that in that section. View archived messages. This is the same thing as what we saw earlier. You don't want to see that. This is a user account control again. I turned it off. There's no need for that. And the next one is maintenance and security. This will tell you what you want to turn off. Honestly, to tell you the truth, I like to disable everything. I don't like to be notified every day. Like right now, this is notifying you crap, right? So what I do, what I do, it, yeah, yeah, yeah. So I usually disable all this crap right here because it's a pain in the butt. If I'm doing something, I don't want to be notified for nothing. I don't want to be left alone. Okay, so that's another option, another way of doing it. See right here where the clock is? You right click, and then you do right click, right? Notification settings, right? You click on that, and this tells you notifications. So what I usually do is disable everything. I don't need the computer to tell me about the drivers, about Intel driver, about support assistant, about privacy, about battery saver, about security, maintenance, autoplay, wireless. All this crap you see here is disabled, meaning you're not going to get notifications anymore. I like my privacy. I don't like to be notified and bugged every time. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So I wouldn't know what to do. I'd be anxious, like what's
That
going on.
that is correct. That is correct. So okay, so that's that. So that's that. Close this out. Close this out again. And that's systems and security. Next one is system. This is the meats and potatoes of the computer, which it will tell you all your peripherals, everything that's connected to the motherboard. If I click on that system, right, it tells you everything about the 16 gig computer, 16 gig computer, i7 computer, Windows 11 Pro. Okay, and I installed it back in 7/10/22, so it's going to be a year. Uh, this tells you all this stuff. In this case, I'm going to teach you what all this means. So the way you do it again is you go system. There's two ways of going in there. This is this way through control panel. Let me show you. Through control panel, right? That's one way of going in there where system is. And you click on system, and this gives you that, okay? That's a touchscreen support. Tells you you'll have a touchscreen computer. Another way of going into system, there's actually three ways of going into system. That's one way, okay? One way through control panel. The secondary one is you go into your this PC. See this PC right here? You right click and you go to properties. That's another way of going in there. See that? And that's again, first one is control panel in systems. Control panel, system, okay? The next one is this PC, right click this PC properties. Okay, that's another option. The third option is see those window thing? You right click, not left click, right click, and you go in system. See that? It's right there. I'm going to show you what all this does eventually. But you go to system right here. You click on system. It gives you that's the third option, the third way of going in there. So this is it. Okay. So since we're there, so the quick way of going, the shortcut is this one. Right click, system. This is one click, two clicks. This is one click, two click. That's two clicks right there too. But sometimes you don't have this icon and you can't find it. So it's better to go here. One, two. Okay? And then this is always going to be here. So this is the faster way than this PC. Because sometimes you can't even find this icon. And the third one, this takes longer. So one click, two clicks. So it's about the same thing. But sometimes you don't have this icon either. So if you can't find this icon or this icon, you can't find the system. But if you go through here, then you find it quick. Okay. So this tells you about you could rename your PC to whatever name you want to name it to. This is how you click it. You click here, you name. I don't want to do that because it's already named fine. This is your specifications. If somebody's telling you, what kind of computer you have, can you send me the specifications? Then you copy this and you paste it or you email it to whoever, right?
Yeah, I don't know how to do that.
Well, all you gotta do is just if you need to, or you highlight each one of them like that. Just copy, and then go here, refresh, new, and then you go here, text document, and then you open the text document, and you paste it. Booyah! See that? Okay, let's do it again. There's different ways of doing it, but if you want to copy the what kind of computer you have, or you want to show it off to somebody, then you copy. Okay, it's copied now. You minimize this. You right click here, not left click, right click here. Open new document or new file or new folder or new text document or new Word document. You could do it in Word and you could do it in this. And you click on Word. And it's right here. And then you open it up Once it's open, close this out. You paste it. Right click here, and you paste. You paste the information that you copied. Remember? There you are. That's your computer. Okay?
Okay.
And then you could save it and send it to whoever, attach it to an email, whatever. Okay? That's if you need that. You know, if you need that. Okay.
Yeah.
So, let me see here. So, yes. So this is your peripherals, your type of computer you have, okay? Driver device specifications. The next one is related links. Domain, and this is for networking, is not applicable to you. System protection is more applicable, but it tell you this is what you saw before. It's protected. Advanced settings, same thing. Uh, this is the specifications too. That's hey, what operating system do you have? Oh, okay. Let me go right click on the Windows thing, go to System, and go to Windows specifications and copy it. Right? What kind of Windows do you have? I'm gonna open a document and I'm gonna paste this again, and that's Windows. I got Windows 11 Pro, and this, so on and so forth. Okay.
Okay.
That's, I mean, once you look at the video, it's going to be a lot easier. I mean, I'm doing it,
Yeah.
I speak too fast. I apologize, but the video is going to help you out to retain most of the stuff I tell you.
I watched the video several times.
Oh, okay, good, 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 good. Okay, so that's that. Okay, so let's go on to the system again. So that's how you check, like I said again, device specifications copy and Windows specification, what kind of operating system you have. Okay, here is when you already have a license, but this if you want to put a new license, which in this case if you buy computers from me, you never have to do this. But if you buy a computer from somebody that you don't trust, then sometimes you gotta get a new license,
Yeah.
and it's already active. So in this case, it doesn't apply. But let's say if you don't want, if your license is illegitimate, like not genuine, or it expired, or it's not licensed, or they sold you a computer with no license activation, they usually do when they go to Craigslist or OfferUp. They usually sell computers where they format them and they just have Windows 10, 7, 11, or whatever operating system they have, and sometimes it's not activated. Okay,
Oh.
so this is how you activate. You got to make sure that there's an activation.
Uh-huh.
If not, you could change the activation by buying or purchasing a key, which the key is going to cost you some money. So the most important thing in a computer in reality is not the hardware. It's more the operating system than anything.
Uh-huh.
Because if you have an operating system that's not active, you're not going to be able to use it. It's like buying a car without the motor, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go back. So that's how you verify or you change the activation. In this case, this is how you check to see if it's active, right? Right there, it's
Yeah.
active. So this tells you, yeah, see? What does this say?
Yeah.
Windows is activated with a digital license. It's a digital license, okay? It's a volume licensing that I provide, or I provided. So,
Yes.
okay, so this is it. This remote desktop, this is not applicable because you're not never going to use this. In that case, just use AnyDesk, which works better. AnyDesk works better than this Microsoft crap because it's crap. You know, and people from YouTube not going to like it, but it is crap. So I'm telling you the truth. This is the same place. We'll go to this device manager, but I'll show you where this device manager and what this device manager is. This will give you the list of peripherals, but I'll tell you exactly what each one of them do. At this rate, I'm not going to show you until we're finished with this page right here. Okay?
Yeah.
So we'll go back to Device Manager. The next one is BitLocker. Remember I told you about BitLocker locking your computer?
Yeah.
Okay. See, there's a lock. If I go into this PC and I go into, let's say, I go into this PC and I see this computer. This computer is not locked. Okay? It's not locked. You got a terabyte. You got a big hard drive in there. So if you if you lock it, you go to BitLocker and lock it. Which of course I don't want to do that. Okay?
No.
Because if you want to sell the computer in the future or give it away to charity or whatever, if you have an encryption, this is an encryption, then you're not going to be able to sell it or give it away because
Yeah.
it's locked. And sometimes it gives you like 25 characters, and if you lose those characters, your computer's useless. If you get a virus on the computer, or you get an intrusion, or something's going on, or the operating system's not working, then the BitLocker, you need the BitLocker password for you to access your computer. And if you don't have, or you don't remember where the BitLocker password is, or the device, then the computer's useless. Best just throw it away.
Yeah.
Okay. So insert a removable USB drive for BitLocker. In this case, we don't do this, and I never recommend, unless if you have a business, you have sensitive information, like you're from the government, the Navy, military, you're an attorney, you're a doctor, stuff that you need that's got to be like locked tight and secured, then do BitLocker. Yeah. In this case, this is BitLocker. So I do not recommend it as a user, as a personal computer, not as a business class computer. Don't use BitLocker unless you are a professional and you're saving and sharing files and documents and data. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the system about, right? And the way you find that again is you right click here. There's three locations. The Windows button. This is called the Windows button, like I said before. This is the PC. Yeah, this is one way of going in there through the system. Another way of going in is here. Right click and then properties. Another way is here, and then I showed you that already. System again. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's go back there again. Go to system. And so in system, like I said, it says about the computer, it has about the Windows, and it has about activation, BitLocker device, remote, all that stuff. This is on the center. On the left side, this is called system, same as system. The next one, if you have a Bluetooth device via speaker, via printer, via, it could be a numerous amount of devices that's Bluetooth. Like in this case, let's say if you want to add a device, you don't have no Bluetooth stuff, but this will find people in the area that has Bluetooth stuff. See, that's one right there. That's another one right there.
Uh-huh.
But you cannot connect it because it's going to ask you for a key code, 5 characters to log into it. But in this case, this is searching for Bluetooth devices in the area. Bluetooth is a form of connection. The original connection was a USB connection, and now they're doing it wireless, and the wireless connection is Bluetooth. That's what it's called, Bluetooth. It's a wireless connection. You could do wireless connection hard drive, you could do wireless connection video camera, you could do wireless connection speaker, you could do wireless connection iPod. The sky's the limit. There's so many devices out there that have Bluetooth capabilities, right? Uh, yeah, like a mouse could be Bluetooth, a keyboard could be Bluetooth, pen, audio, display, docks, etc., 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 etc. Also a printer that's Bluetooth. Also your phone, you could link your phone. It's also Bluetooth. Cameras, right? And mice, touchpad, pen, autoplay, and USBs. You could also have USB Bluetooth devices. Okay? In this case, when you get a Bluetooth device, you'll know. Just go on System and then go to Bluetooth and add it in there. Next one, network and internet. You have a Wi-Fi connection to Army Dude, okay? And this tells you about your wireless, right? Your information. And this is the properties. It's a public network. It's your public network at 5 gigahertz. And then you're using up for the last 30 days 5 gigs of stuff, which is not a lot for 30 days. It's not a lot. I do a lot more than that. I do terabytes. I do a lot. This is how you turn off the Wi-Fi. You don't want to do it now because if I do, then we lose connection. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah. But you can see what's going on in there. See?
Yeah.
I'm still in Wi-Fi. This is how you turn it off. It's connected to this one. It'll give you a list of other Wi-Fis in the area. This is a public Wi-Fi connection. Okay. This is available networks for additional Wi-Fi adapters in the area. Additional people that's giving out internet wirelessly. Okay. This is other people. And yeah, manage known networks. In this case, this is the same thing as the other one we saw. This is me, because I forget because I'm not there anymore. But usually, every time you install a Wi-Fi adapter or a Wi-Fi connection, always stays in the computer. Okay, TJ Oyster Bar. You could forget it because you're not using it no more. You don't need it anymore. You don't need it no more. It always keeps a history, right? always keeps a history of the past connections. Okay, all of this. Okay, so mod. So it doesn't take a lot of space. It doesn't do anything. It just keeps a history. So let's say next time you're next to somebody, some like Denny's or something, you get free Wi-Fi because it's already there. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's just a history of that. Um, so let's go back.
Yeah.
So Wi-Fi, right?
Yep.
Let me see. So hardware properties. What kind of device you have as far as your Wi-Fi adapter on your computer. You got wireless AC, which is very fast. So if you notice, your internet's pretty fast. It's next level Wi-Fi, and this at 5 gigahertz. This is more stuff for people like me. You know,
Yeah.
this is your IP address to your router, 152.154. Let me copy it. Let me try to connect to your router. Check it out. Yep. Continue with site. Yeah, I can't connect. Probably because I'm VP because I'm working remotely. I can't connect, but it's AT&T. That's why
Yeah.
AT&T. So AT&T, and this is your IP address for the computer for your device at home. Okay.
Okay.
So they probably tell you what's your IP address. Setting system, network, internet. That's my IP address right there. Okay. 192.68.1 and 154. That's the router itself. Okay. Let me go back. This is not applicable to you. It doesn't matter. This is not applicable. That's if you want to help from the web. That's if you want to fix something, but it usually doesn't give you any information. It's just redundant information. Okay?
What is the VPN?
Oh, virtual private network. Virtual private network, it's a connection that's masked or hidden from one place. Let's say if you're in China and you want to connect to Netflix, because if you're in China or any part of the world, if you're not in America, you're not able to use Netflix or Hulu or whatever. You have to be in the location. Okay, so by you having a VPN service, it allows you to make the computer think you're in America, in San Diego.
That because one of my son's workers, when I have to call him on the phone, it says VPN is connecting or something
Yeah, yeah,
on his phone, and then he'll answer the phone.
yeah. He's using a VPN. He's masking his location. Yeah, or he's
Aha!
hiding his location.
Probably from his employer.
Yeah, some people are somewhat paranoid. So you know, okay. So back to this. Personalization. This is important. This is how you change the background pictures and stuff. So this is what you have currently, the main one, the blue one, but you could change it if you click on background or you click on this, and then you could change whatever picture, you could change the colors, you could change anything you want. Click on here, it changes everything. So let's say I change it to that, so I minimize it, and you have this now. Okay, you,
Yeah.
you could change whatever. You could do pictures, you could do solid colors, you could do slideshows if you have your personal photos, your Windows Spotlight, whatever. Or you could choose your own personal photo right here on the side, browse for photos, and you could put any
Yeah.
any photos you want. Um, Autofill the fit the desk. Let's say you have a picture that's just small. You want to fit it or you want to fill it to the display. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
And this is contrast for blind people that you have a bad eyesight. You could change the contrast. See,
Yeah.
you don't want to do that because it's ugly. Because your eyesight's not bad. So yeah, that's for disabilities. That's for disabilities.
Put you back to bright blue one. I like the bright blue one.
The this one, this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now it's there.
Yeah.
Okay. So backgrounds. This is how you show these desktop icons. These right here, these four of them, they're called
Yeah.
desktop icons. You always need them on every computer you purchase. When you buy a new computer, it does not show you those icons. I always add those icons, okay? Because I use those icons all the time,
Yeah.
okay? So I have them there. So, okay, so that's that. The next one is apps. Apps and features. This is what you need to run. Right now you're using AnyDesk and you're using the driver controller as media. It's a USB thing device. Calculator. You got all these devices running, right, on the computer. So
Yeah.
this is how you check to see what's running in the computer. Another way of going into apps is by clicking in the center right here. Right click and you go to task settings. Actually, more like task manager. Or type in task manager. Task manager. Right there. This will tell me what's running in the background. See that? More details. So AnyDesk is running and Windows is running and this other stuff in your computer that's running in the background that you need. Everything seems healthy. You've got a healthy computer performance, but we're not going to show you this yet. This is not, I don't want to, I'll go back to that, but this is what the personalization, and we did that. Apps. So apps and features. Okay. Next one is default apps. Let's say you have something that you want to default it. Let's say you have a different calculator. You check this one. You set it as a default calculator. There's only one calculator here. But let's say if you have different devices that you want to make it a default, like this, Chrome. I click here and I make Chrome as a default. See that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or if you want to use Chrome or Ethernet Explorer or Edge or any other, a Mozilla Firefox or whatever, you want to use it as a default software or program or application. Okay, so let's go back. Okay, offline maps. This doesn't apply because you're not going to be using maps. If you're using Google Maps or something, then you could download the map and use your computer. But you don't have a GPS, so it's not applicable. You don't have a GPS to use a computer. Usually, truck drivers use laptops as a GPS.
Oh,
Okay,
really?
yeah, they buy a GPS device and connect it to their laptop, and they download the maps.
Huh.
Asia, like the whole country. See that?
Yeah.
The whole country. You could download the whole country's map. See all this stuff. But
That's great.
yeah, that's and then the GPS will tell them where to go and how to get there or whatever. But
Yeah.
offline maps, optional features. Um, Most of the stuff you're never gonna use because this is more for people that do certain things in their computers, so they need all this additional features. So in this case,
Uh-huh.
it's not applicable. Okay.
Okay.
Apps and websites. This is the history of websites. Microsoft to do maps, Microsoft Teams, whatever, you know. But you hardly use. You probably go to Facebook and do the same thing all the time, so you don't need
Right.
different apps. Okay, this one's a video playback. You click on video playback, and this tells you how the quality of your video you want. Process automatically enhances if you want to process it automatically. Uh, if you have lower bandwidth for the internet, you also could make it slow. And this is just for playback for video. But in this case, since you do not do videos, like in the sense that you don't edit videos, is not applicable. Okay? So,
Yeah.
yeah. So, video playback. Startup. This is what you need to sign into. This most of the stuff is signed in. Cortana's off. AnyDesk is measured, right? This is stuff you need to log into. Most of the stuff is important. Most of the stuff.
Okay.
Xbox is off because you don't have an Xbox. The audio, you
Right.
need that. Security icon, you could disable it too. Um, You don't need, most of the stuff you need, audio, Teams. You don't need Teams. Do you use Teams?
What are teams?
Oh, then you don't use it.
Yeah.
Te- Teams is like Zoom meeting, but
Oh
it's a
yeah, put it back on.
but it's a paid service.
Oh, forget it. Okay, take it off.
Okay, so let's go back. Yeah. So yeah, this is all it is for apps. Okay. So the next one is accounts. That's remember I told you about you only have a singular person on the account. You only one. So this is if you
Yes.
want to add somebody else. That's if you want to put your photo. That's if you want to put passwords. That's if you want to do the email account by used by emails and contacts. That's if you want to add additional people into the computer, which is family and other users, device access, and school projects and kiosk assign Windows backup, that's if you want to do backup. Access work or school, this is more for schools. This is not applicable to you. Account privacy, subscriptions, payment options, that's for Microsoft itself, for Microsoft Store, and the store is right
Yeah.
here. So in this case, it doesn't matter because you don't use the store, you don't buy anything there.
Right.
So you don't need,
Right.
yeah, I don't never use the store. I never buy anything from Microsoft anyway. So, you know,
Yeah.
so this is for that. All this stuff right here you see is for that.
Okay.
Account privacy, subscription, rewards, payment options, order history, account billing, and help. Okay, that's that. Time and language. This is, go ahead.
Yeah.
Were you going to say something?
No. No.
Okay. Uh, Time and date. This is where you change the time and date. This is the same as this on the bottom, right? This is
Yeah.
two ways of going in there. This is how you change the date. You always got to set it up automatically so you don't have to worry about it. And then you also got to set up daylight savings time. You always got to have it on. So the computer will automatically change it, the time based on the atomic clock or the internet clock. Uh,
Yeah.
and here's the time zone. In this case, you're in Pacific time, right? USA, and Canada. You could change it to whatever other locations if you like. In this case, it's just applicable for just Pacific time
Yeah.
or LA time or whatever you want to call it, but it's usually Pacific time. Okay, so that's that. Set time automatically. This is already set up because it's already up here. These two, and same thing. If you want to do it manually, if you turn this off, then you could change the time and whatever. This is syncing when you want to sync the time. You don't need to sync it because it's already synced, and it's been synced since yesterday. So there's no need to sync anything. Okay. This is for additional calendars in the taskbar on the bottom. You don't use calendars in here, so it just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So it doesn't matter. The next one is related links, language and regions. This is if you want to add languages. In this case, it's English is a preferred language, but if you want to add like German or Spanish or whatever, you could add it from here. Whatever language you want, you can make your computer any language in the world. Yeah, let's do Spanish. Let's say if you want Spanish, let's say, I mean, just for the sake of this, Spanish, Mexico. So you go like that, and then go next, and then this is what you need: language pack, text to speech, speech recognition, handwriting, and you could set my Windows display language to Spanish, and then you install it. But in this case, not applicable. You speak English, so you don't need to change anything. So that would be United States would be your main language. This let's say you're in China, but you want everything in English, then the computer itself will be in English, but you could change your region, right? Your country or region. Let's say you're in China, then you change this to China, right? But your computer's in English, but it's based on formats, regional formats such as currency and measurements and all that stuff based in the area that you're in. Okay,
That's
like
cool.
instead of some countries use kilometers and some countries use like metric system. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
so you need to change this to apply it for the country that you're in.
Yeah.
Yes. So let me see here. Okay, regional format, same thing. You know, whatever country you're in.
Yep.
See, it tells you Gregorian. You based America is based on the Gregorian calendar. Oh, let me go back. System. We are in personal and apps. No accounts. Sorry, accounts. Oh no, sorry. Time and language. I apologize. Regions. Typing the same thing. If the keyboard is like a Chinese keyboard and you want to make it American, then you do the same thing here. This is the same as the language again, and that's it as far as that goes. Let's go back.
Okay.
Typing, touch keyboard. You could have a keyboard that shows right here. Let's say if you don't want to use, you could use a keyboard. You could have this for the keyboard. Display the keyboard on the bottom here. But since you have a keyboard, it doesn't apply. In this case, it doesn't apply. This is only for Windows tablets, like Surfaces. Like it's a Windows 11 tablet, and it doesn't have a keyboard. Then you enable the keyboard so you could have it. Okay. The next one is show text suggestions. When you're typing something, it'll help you out. Okay, it's right there. Multi-language text suggestions. In this case, it doesn't apply because you only use a singular language. Autocorrect misspelled words, the same thing. Highlight misspelled words again. And this is a history of correction, which it doesn't matter. You're not a teacher. You're not going to be testing how you're doing. Advanced keyboard settings. That's right now the keyboard that you have. It's called the QWERTY keyboard. And the why it's called the QWERTY keyboard. If you look at the keyboard in the center on the left side, you see escape on the top, and then you go to three buttons down. You see the tab button, right? 3 buttons down. You see the tab button. Next to the right, it's Q W E R T Y. You see those keys? Q. Look at the keyboard. Q W E R T Y right across. You see that?
No.
What's next? Look at Q. Look at the keyboard. Look at the Q. What's the next letter? What's Yeah, okay. What's the next letter to the Q
I see it. Yeah, I see it. I see
Okay,
it.
that's considered a 102 button QWERTY keyboard. I lost your connection. Let's connect again. Can you accept it? Okay. I think it. Okay. Good. So it's called the QWERTY keyboard. QWERTY. QWERTY. Okay.
Uh-huh.
That's what it's called. So
That's interesting.
yeah, and it's 102. 102. Uh, if you have, sometimes they have 126 because you have 20 more additional keys on the side, like a numbers pad. That's additional 20 keys with the numbers pad because it has the numbers and it has some additional keys in there. But in this case, instead of laptop, sometimes you don't have the 122 keys on a keyboard. You probably have 101 keys on the keyboard. It's a laptop. It's a small laptop. So, okay, where were keyboard settings? Okay, so touch keyboard. Uh, Show you the suggestions. You already did that. Autocorrect misspelled words. Advanced keyboard settings. That's the language. You want to change the language on the keyboard again. In this case, it's not applicable. A language again. Language packs if you want to download that. Typing, personalization. Text cursor if you want the cursor thicker. The cursor is a little thing that blinks. Clack, clack, clack. You can make it bigger, or you can make it. See that? How big it looks? You can make it smaller. You can change the color, whatever color you desire. You know. And then
Yeah.
this is how the thickness is. See the thickness? See that? See how thick it looks?
Yeah.
That's a cursor. The little blinker that when you're typing a document, that's where you kind of control that. Some people are kind of crazy and they want it wider,
Uh-huh.
but I just leave it default color and default black and default everything. I don't change it myself. Okay?
Yeah.
So, I guess yeah, that's it as far as the keyboard goes. Okay? And the next one is gaming. In this case, is not applicable because you don't have an Xbox
Right. Right.
and you don't have a captured card and you don't have a game mode. You don't play on this computer, so it's not applicable. We're not even going to go here because it's not important. Okay?
Yeah.
The next one is accessibility. Remember, I told you before, is for people with visually impaired and people that have issues. Well, this is how you do accessibility. The size of the text, you can increase it, decrease it, make it bigger. Look at that.
Yeah.
Okay, you want 10%. Display monitor is the same thing. You could change that. Let's go back to accessibility. Visual effects, scrolling bar transparencies. Always allow a scroll bar, if you want to scroll. See that bottom on the right side? See the scroll bar?
Yeah.
See right now that you don't have a scroll bar, but if you click on that, there's a scroll bar now. See that? See that?
I like that. Yeah.
You like that or you want me to take it off?
I like it.
Okay. Okay. Transparency effects. That's if you want to see transparent, non-transparent, transparent. Transparent is pretty nice. Look at the bottom. The bottom of the task manager, right here, the taskbar, is not transparent anymore. But if I click it here, now it's transparent.
Yeah.
Okay. Animation. You want animations because it looks nice with animation. Okay. Dismiss notifications after an amount of time, 5 seconds. I Since I disabled that, you're not going to get notifications anymore.
Right.
Yeah. Display, monitor brightness and light, whatever. In this case, if you want to change the settings on the display, you could increase the brightness. You could do a night light. You could do HDR. This is based on 250%. This is a 4K resolution display. And you could increase it and decrease it to a smaller one, a higher one. You can landscape this, but you don't want to touch it. If I change that, then the display is going to be weird. If you have multiple displays, in this case, it's not applicable because you don't have additional displays like different monitors.
Right.
This is
Right.
like you never want to go in here in reality. You don't ever want to go. I'm just teaching you what this does so you have an idea. But you never want to
Yeah.
go in there anyway. Let's go
Yeah.
back. So that's display. The next one, let me see. Next one is display, which we already talked about that. And we're below here. Private security. Actually, accessibility. Okay, so visual effects, pointer, if you want the pointer to be bigger, brighter, blacker, whatever.
Yeah.
And this is the text cursor again where it blinks. The magnifier, if you want to magnify something, like let's say on, and this will magnify, see, it magnifies everything. I think I showed you that before.
Yeah.
Let me cancel it because it confuses the hell out of me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so if you want to magnify stuff, this is if you want to smooth the edges and stuff, and this is, hold on a second, this is magnifying. We're not going to touch this. This is not applicable for now. This is if you want to invert the colors. Look at that. Invert the colors are different. Smooth the edges. Obviously, you don't always want that instead of having choppy corners.
Yeah.
Um, Shortcuts, Control Alt, which in this case you're never going to use.
Yeah.
Text size, if you want the text size, I already showed you that. Displays and monitors, I already talked about that. So, okay, next one, privacy and security. This is important. Windows security. This is everything you have as far as security. You have virus and threat protection. Okay, it's recommended actions already. Account protection, it's recommended. Firewall. Application is device security, device performance, and health. Everything's copacetic, so everything's good. Let's go back.
Yeah.
Find my device. Let's say if you got to sign into Microsoft to find your device. Let's say if somebody steals your laptop, which you never take that laptop out of that house, so it doesn't matter. You don't need it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Device encryption, same with the stupid BitLocker. You don't want to go there. Okay.
No, no,
And then developers, this is more for people like me. You never want to go in here and fudge this because if you do, you get in trouble.
yeah, no.
Yeah. Yeah. You.
Then I'll have to call.
Okay. Permissions again. General permissions. Asking you for permissions. I usually uh, don't like this. I usually disable this. Show me suggested content in the settings app. I always do no. Let Windows improve. No. Let websites. No. I always like disable this because you know what? It's none of their business. They just want to know everything what you do. Uh,
Yeah, forget it.
yeah. So Windows security. Let's see. Oh, we already saw that. Let's go back. Find my device. We already know that. To find your device. Device encryption is for BitLocker. For developers, you never want to go in there. General. This is for this. I already showed you this part. Okay. And then speech. That's if you want to talk to the computer, and it'll online speech recognition to dictation and other voice-based interactions. That's if you want to have your computer. If you want to talk to the computer, but you enable it. You do off or on. You know, and you have to teach a computer to understand your voice. You got to do the settings first. You know, because
Yeah.
yeah. So in this case, you're not gonna do that. Speech. The next. No, not right now. Inking. You don't need this again. Diagnostic and feedback. This is more for people like me. For diagnostics to see how your computer's running. You don't need this for you. It's not applicable. Um, Same. We talked about the history. Search permissions, same with the search permissions. Searching for Windows. This is one way of searching for files through here or through here. See this right here on the bottom?
Yeah.
Search. Uh, or another way of going in there is through here. Search permissions and searching Windows. Location. I always disable the computer's location. I never enable it. It's none of their business. Okay? So I don't want
Yeah.
nobody to know where you are or where I'm
Exactly.
at. So I disable that. Okay? Same with the camera. I disable the camera unless I run the camera. Okay? So in this case, it's
Right.
not. You don't have the desktop app viewer, so it's only when you're going to use the camera. Um, Same with microphone. Same with voice activation. Same with the notifications. We talked about that already. Account info.
Yeah.
We already. That's if you want to add a Microsoft account. Contacts. If you have contacts, most of the contacts you have them on Google, a Gmail account. Calendar, that's the same with the account through Microsoft. And phone calls, same thing with that. Call history, same with that. Emails, the same thing. Task manager is the same. Messaging, the same. This is all related to Microsoft stuff. So it's not applicable in this case. You don't need it. Radios, you don't need radios. You don't read to radio. You don't listen to radio. Documents, that's everything. All documents accessible. And let me see here. Music, same with music. It's the same thing. Documents, download folder, music library. And this right here is right here. If you click on your, hold on a second, click on your account. Gigi, if you click here,
Yeah.
it's right here. See these?
Yeah.
This is this.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, this is this. This is this. Video, same video. File system is the same thing. This is file system right here. This is file system there. Screenshots. Okay, the next one, Windows updates. You never want to worry about this because Microsoft does automatic updates.
Yeah.
And this will tell you all the updates in the past. Update history. There's always freaking updates.
That's good.
Yeah. So these are updates. Okay. You never want to go in here if you want to change something, but you don't. I recommend going in there. Okay. So that's that as far as. Let me close it out. Let me close this out. Okay, as far as this goes. So let's right click again. Okay. Apps and features is the same thing as we saw for the apps. So it's the same thing we saw. It's there. It's in system. All the stuff you see here is the same. Okay. So I'm going to teach you about device manager. So there's two ways of going to device manager to see if something's going on or if the computer's working fine. But in this case, apps and features is the same thing we saw as far as apps. Mobility center is the same thing that for Wi-Fi and all this stuff. Power options, we saw that regarding the power schematics on turning off the computer and power lid and all that stuff. Event viewer is the same thing with the event, the history. System is a system. Device manager. Let's go to device manager. This is one way of going to device manager is through the Windows button here, or another way of going to device manager is clicking here,
Right.
clicking on control panel. Once you click on control panel, you click on system again. I mean, it goes to different places, but that's one again. And then you scroll down and you go to device manager. But that's too many clicks. See device manager right
Yeah.
here. So you could do just one click. We'll go like this and click on device manager. See that? Or
Yeah.
this other way, of course, but you don't want to do that. I told you I was going to go back and talk about this. This is important. This is the meats and potatoes of all the peripherals and all the hardware on your computer. When you see an exclamation mark on this, it means that it has a problem or the device is not working properly. And this is how it looks. Device manager, device. Oh, I think I showed you that the other day.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just showed you that exclamation marks uh, like this. See that
Yeah.
exclamation mark? Okay. When you have that, then you have a problem. I haven't talked about this. I just showed you about the device manager with the errors. In this case, you do not have any errors. So I'm going to tell you what this does. What is this? This is all your devices into the computer. Every device is working healthy. So it's in good shape. The first one you see here is audio's inputs. So this is your audio. This is your speakers. The way you find this, this means it's working properly. It's right here in the corner. See that? This
Yeah.
is your audio. See, this is your audio right here. Or you could right click on the audio. Let me close that out. And right click on the audio and opens this sound settings. That's for the sound. Okay?
Yeah.
So this is the sound. I think I showed you this already. The sound. So another way of finding that to see if you're, because you say, oh, my sound's not working in my computer. Then you go into device manager from system settings, and if you have exclamation mark or errors, then you have a problem with the sound. Okay.
Yeah.
The next one
Yeah.
is the battery. This will tell you if you have a bad battery. It'll also give you an exclamation mark or an error, a red error, or like a red X. Okay, the battery's
Yeah.
healthy. This is the Bluetooth, the device, the adapter that grabs the signal for all your Bluetooth devices in the area. So this is a built-in embedded device that reads the wireless connection to any device that's Bluetooth capable. Right here.
Oh.
Yes. The next one is your camera. We already saw your camera. You type in camera and it goes to camera directly. Camera, see? And then you go here, and there you are. There you are. How you doing? So front facing camera. So there you are. I'm gonna close it out. Okay, camera. So this you have a healthy camera. The next one is your computer. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Okay, so so you have a 64-bit 64-bit uh, computer system. Okay, it's a 64-bit, and the way you check that, another way of checking that to see if you're 64-bit. Let me close that out. Because usually they tell you, is it 32-bit or 64-bit? The way you know if it's 64-bit, you go to Properties, this PC in Properties, and this will tell you whether it's
Gigi Delmar.
Okay, something happened to the connection. Okay, come on, connect. Okay, let me call her. Call her again.
You completed that this time. Please hang up and try it. Hello?
Yes, yes. Okay, so
Okay.
64-bit. You go to System, About the System, and this will tell you it's a 64-bit computer processor. See that? See that? 60 right there. So let's go to Device Manager, and it's 64-bit. Okay. Next one is Dell Instrumentation. That's if you're in the military, that computer probably has fingerprint scan or it could use a military card. It's a business class laptop. That's why it has this additional hardware. In this case, you don't need it unless if you're in the military or whatever. Next one is Dell Utilities. Same thing. Same. It's a drive utility. Same as a Dell Instrumentation. Same thing. Okay. And this is your hard drive, your disk drive. You have an NVMe ADATA. This is your model number. That's a fast hard drive. It's a solid state drive. The next one is display adapter. This is your video card that puts out the signal for the video on your display. Okay? This is the firmware for the operating system or the computer itself. System firmware is good. Human interface devices. This is more for touchpad and touchscreen. See this? You could disable the touchpad. You could disable the touchscreen from here. You right click and you disable. If you want to disable the touchscreen, you could do that too. So it's not touch anymore. If you don't like the touching mechanism of your computer, you could disable it from here. Some people do disable it. Okay. Next one is keyboards. Obviously, the keyboards you see, there's a keyboard device. This is the memory that's built in the computer. You have 16. Well, this is the memory card. This is a device to connect your memory cards, your SD drives. You know, your little mini SD drives and your SD drives. This is more for cameras, like for people that take photography. This device is for that. Okay. This is your touchpad right there. This is your monitor. This is a generic monitor that's on the computer. This is your Wi-Fi adapters. Right here is your Wi-Fi adapter. This is the Bluetooth one. This is your Wi-Fi personal area network. And this is your wireless adapter, AC adapter. This is this right here.
Okay.
Yeah. And the rest is just other different connections. Okay. The next one's printers. That's if you have printers. This will tell you how many printers you have. In this case, you don't have none. Next one is processors. You have a 4-core processor i7 computer. Okay? Pretty fast for a laptop. Okay? The next one is security devices. This is more for trusted platform module for security on the computer. It's built in embedded. Windows 11 requires to have this in order for you to install Windows 11. If you don't have this trusted platform module, Windows 11 is not compatible to install. Next one is software components. This is just software for the graphic card, for generic softwares. The command center. Yeah, this is for the video card. The next one is sound. Again, you got display audio and you got Realtek audio. This is the audio card. There's two ways. From here, same thing. See that? Realtek audio. And here again. for speakers. I think they're speakers. Those are speakers. And the next one, storage controllers. This is a controller that connects your hard drives. It's a peripheral that's embedded on the motherboard that makes it negotiate the storage devices to your computer through here. If you don't have that, you cannot put a hard drive. This is all your system devices, the fan, right? The fan on the computer, the button that you have, power button, the lid, the power button there again, the sleep button, the thermal zone, arbitration. This is everything on the computer that gives you. This is the audio again. This is the chipset. All these are chipsets for your computer itself, for the video card, for the Intel chipsets, all this stuff. Power management, I/O, legacy device. Most of the stuff is just stuff that you have on the computer itself. System clock, the CMOS battery is there, it's working fine. You don't have any errors. Sometimes when there's a battery and the time is not retaining this time, it's because the CMOS battery is dead. In this case, the CMOS battery is good. So this is how you check your computer to see if you have any further problems. You know, in this case, you have none. And the last one, but not least, is called the Universal Serial Bus Connector. This is a USB connector. This is a 3.0. There's 3 levels of USB, or actually 4. I'll show you. USB history. Let me show images. This is the standards right now. Or let's say this one. The regular USB 2.0, which is white, okay, 2.0. The speed is slow, 480 megabytes per second. The next one is the USB 3.0, which is 3 gigabytes per second. It's like 6 to 7 times faster. You got Thunderbolt, that's more for Mac. And then that Type C, that computer has a Type C connection all the way up to 2019. You know, but those are all the different ports that computers have. The USB history report, like these right here too. See that? This is the original one, and then this one it turned blue, and now blue with 3.1, and then now it's a Type C and Type C, and now they got the micro USB. That's a future one. But so far we're at this one right here, the third one. This one, Thunderbolt. Okay, so that's a fact. You could get power and data transferring. You could connect, if your computer has a bunch of these, you could connect a power adapter to it too, and you could get power from the power adapter. And if you have, and each one of them. So that's the future of that. And the next one is micro SD, yeah, micro USB. So this is the 3.0, and you have a hub in there, 3.0 hub. So USB composite, so that's good. That's all your peripherals for the computer. You never want to go in here and change or mess things up. You don't want to go in here just to see. The only time you want to go and see is to see that everything's working copacetically. Everything's working fine. Other than that, I don't suggest you go in there again.
You should put a sign, dangers. Caesar says stay out.
Yeah, stay out. So as far as that goes, okay. So let me see. So system, device manager, network connections. This is when you connect to the network. Different. I think I showed you this already. Network.
I talked to you about the VPN.
Yes, yes. Yeah, VPN. Let me show you something about VPN. What is VPN? Let me put a video.
Yeah.
Let me go to YouTube better. Let's go to YouTube. Let's go explain VPN. Right there. Look at
You
this video,
probably
four
heard of a
minute video.
VPN before. It's even possible you've used one before. But do you know what it does? A VPN stands for Virtual Private Network, which basically means it gives you privacy online. Originally, VPNs were only used in business settings where big businesses, organizations, or governments wanted to secure their data. Since people worked remotely and needed to connect online, businesses needed to create a secure connection. Otherwise, they were at risk for hacking or other loss of data. Nowadays, VPNs are used by everyone, specifically because it ensures your location stays private, your data is encrypted, and that you can surf the web anonymously. But how does it work? Let's back up for a second to understand how the internet works. When you visit a site like Facebook or Twitter, you type in a domain name. That domain is basically a nickname for the website's IP address. An IP address is just like your home address, only it consists of numbers and not street names. Since it's much easier to remember names than a string of numbers, we give websites domain names and a server translates them. Your computer has an IP address too, and so does every device browsing the internet. When you type in the website's domain name on your browser, whether you're using Chrome, Firefox, or even Internet Explorer, you send your data into the internet until it reaches a server. That server then translates the data and sends you back the website you requested. The problem is, when you send that data to the server, you're sending them your IP address and a lot of other information too. This is where hackers can intercept your information. Imagine you're sitting in a coffee shop using their public Wi-Fi on your phone and you want to check your bank account. Someone else with a laptop can easily log into the network and get a hold of your passwords, emails, and other information you might have. But if you use a VPN, they won't be able to access that. The websites you visit can also gather your information, but they tend to do it in order to study their demographic. Usually, it's not a problem, but sometimes you want to protect your identity and privacy. So how does a VPN protect my privacy? When you send information online, a VPN creates a tunnel that encrypts your information. This way, if someone gets a hold of your data, they won't be able to read it. The tunnel also makes it harder to hack in, but don't be fooled. It is still possible, just much harder to do. A VPN also adds in an extra server. We spoke about how you send data from your computer to a server, and then that server pings you back with the website. But with VPN, your data goes to their server first, and then it's sent out to the website. This extra step helps in a lot of ways. First, it can change your location. A lot of video streaming websites like Netflix and Hulu have strict content depending on your geolocation. Let's say you want to watch your favorite show on Netflix, but it's not available in your country. You send your information to one of the VPN servers in America, and then that server sends it to the Netflix website. Netflix now thinks you're in America, and you can stream your show without any problems. A VPN tricks them into thinking you're in a different location because the signal is coming from a different server. Clever, right? Changing your location can also be helpful when booking a hotel or flight. Research has shown that hotels and flight prices change depending on your location, and a VPN could potentially save you lots of money. But let's get back to your privacy. Remember how we mentioned websites sometimes collect your data? Well, many times governments can request this information and use the listed IP addresses to track your location. But with a VPN, their information only reaches the VPN server. They can't track you back to your original IP address. See how cool that is? Many VPNs also have a no logs policy, which means they don't record what sites you visit. So if the government requests a VPN provider for tracking logs, your information won't be there. VPNs are really handy when it comes to keeping your privacy safe on the web. By changing your location, encrypting your data, and ensuring your privacy, it's no wonder so many people use them these days. Now that you know what a VPN is, it's time to go get one. Click on the link to see our top VPNs or click the icon below to share this video with your friends.
There you are. So pretty explanatory. VPN is more for like if you want to hide yourself. You know?
Yeah, I think the lawyer uses an email that is encrypted.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, VPN is important. So
That's very
yes, 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 yes. Okay. So okay. So next class would be tomorrow.
yeah,
About let's say 2 o'clock. Is that good? Tomorrow?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I'll give you a call myself. If not, call me. Okay. So let's either you or me. Okay.
Hey,
Okay. What is it? Sorry.
Thank you very much.
Oh, no problem. Anytime. So I'm going to give you some homework, okay? Something simple. It's not going to be that tough, okay? The only thing I'm going to do, I'm going to list this video on YouTube right now once I'm done with you. But try to write a list of at least 5 things that you need to learn about, okay? And type them in here whenever you get a chance. You don't have to do it tomorrow. You don't have to do it. You could do. I'll go back to this on Monday or something, but have like four or five things you need to learn about. That's really really important for you to learn, and and that's the first thing we're going to talk about. But we're going to talk about other things. There's so many things we have to talk about still. But just so you know, we want to cater this to your needs. Okay.
Okay, doke.
I don't want to just fill you with useless information. That's why.
No, I don't think any information is really useless.
Well, sometimes the information, like if I teach you about security, it's useless at this point, right? Like if I teach you about network connections, it's important, but it's useless to you right now, right?
Yeah.
So something more immediate, something more catered to your needs to this point in time, that's the best. Okay? So
Okay.
you could type them in here, whatever. Or actually no, let's type it. Let me take this off here. Let me take this off. Let's do it here. Do it here. No, actually, no. Let me take these two off because you don't need them. It's right here. It's right here. See this Windows 11 Office? So click on that and just type in. You already got one, so all you need is 4 more things.
Okay, good.
So just something that you need to learn that's really important. That's crucial. That's important. Okay. Okay. So I'll be talking to you tomorrow.
Yeah. Hasta mañana.
Hasta mañana. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.